everybody, today I'm talking about 2024 and all about Saturn in 2024. Saturn remains in Aquarius throughout 2024. It is strong, powerful, gives us strength, all of us, to face our karma, face our difficult issues, and to resolve many things. However, though Saturn is remaining in Aquarius all year, there's some subtle changes, different nakshatras, and this is a two-parter. Saturn in 2024, I'm going to talk about the signs and how it affects, and then I'm also going to do in the second part Saturn and the nakshatra transit, and a bit about Sade Sati in 2024 and other challenging transits of Saturn. So this is a two-parter, and so this is just to give you an overall idea. So Saturn in 2024, let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton and I'm talking Saturn in Aquarius in 2024. And do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. So Saturn in Aquarius remains in Aquarius in 2024. We begin the year at 9 degrees of Aquarius, and Saturn will move from 9 degrees all the way up to 25 degrees on 29th of June, where he retrogrades back and will retrograde back and then go forward again from 15th November onward. It retrogrades back to 18 degrees of Aquarius and will go forward on 15th of November. This year, 2024, it ends its transit at 20 degrees Aquarius. So basically, any planets that are placed within this range, so you could take 9 degrees to 25 degrees as a range, that if you have any planets placed in those degrees of range, then those are planets are under direct influence of Saturn. And Saturn will be, when he's transiting exactly over any one of your planets, then that is a complicated aspect and transit for you. But throughout the year, Saturn remains in Aquarius and he is creating a Sasha Mahapurusha Yoga. Sasha Mahapurusha Yoga is, about governance, about organization, and all of us, whether we are getting the Sasha Mahapurusha Yoga or not, we are going to learn something about Saturn's ability to give us strength and power and guts, as I put in my title, that guts to face our karma, to deal with issues, to be strong. And this is a rare Saturn transit. Capricorn, Aquarius, it's done Capricorn, it's now Aquarius, and this is the last year where Saturn is itself not creating any drama. It is in Aquarius, there's no major conjunction except for one in April 10th, which is a Mars Saturn conjunction. This happens once every 2 years, so I always watch it, but it doesn't mean like longer term conjunction. In 2025 we are going to get Saturn Rahu. That is way most important to watch for. But in Aquarius, and while Saturn is in Aquarius, this is a Saturn Mars conjunction on 10th of April, that we all need to watch for. That period between end of March to April is quite turbulent. There are eclipses taking place, and then there's a solar eclipse on 8th of April, then Mars Saturn on 10th. So there's a lot of drama there. I already made one video about it. I put a link, you can watch that. I'd given a lecture at a conference. But for this, you have to know that Saturn in Aquarius, it is overall, that is the pocket where it is at its most intense. Otherwise, we can organize, plan, face some difficult truths about ourselves. You know, less is more for Saturn. Mahapurusha Yoga by transit is for Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius. However, if you have Moon in Aquarius, you're also in intense Sade Sati. To talk more about it in part 2 of this talk, but definitely it's still giving power and strength. And I talk to some of my clients, students who are facing this. They face difficulty, but they also have ability to work things out. Now, Scorpio, which is also having a strong transit, is also in Kantaka Shani. So if you are Scorpio Moon or Scorpio Lagna, then you are also experiencing Kantaka Shani, 4th house transit of Saturn. More about it next section of this video. This particular aspect of Saturn in Aquarius for 2024, the overall aspect to consider is that Saturn is strong, he is powerful, he's in its own sign, except for April where Mars comes and then create a clash. Mars is opposite force to Saturn. Mars wants to do things, Saturn wants to block or restrict, and that is the thing. The other thing is this, that if you feel that Saturn is restricting you, he is delaying things, actually think of it in another way. He's actually making you more patient, being aware of waiting for things. Everything doesn't have to happen instantly, and things that happen instantly are not necessarily the good ones. So if something is being delayed, think Shani Maharaj is delaying and creating difficulty, and that is okay. It is not a negative thing to deal with. And so what we see is that Saturn comes into the start of the year at 9 degrees of Aquarius. It will be direct all the way to 29th of June, when he turns retrograde at 25 degrees Aquarius. And from there he will keep on retrograding back till 15th of November, when he'll go direct at 18 degrees of Aquarius. Now, other things to consider is that if you have planets between 18 to 25 degrees of Aquarius, you have to think that Saturn is going to make 3 transits over them, and therefore that can be a lot of pressure, a lot of delays, obstacles. And Moon, I'm focusing a bit more on Moon on the next section, but if you have Moon between 18 to 25, then think about it that this is a very intense time for you, and that you are being patient and careful and not planning any big events. Now, when Saturn turns retrograde, he'll turn retrograde on 29th of June at 25 degrees of Aquarius. Now, you've got to check in your chart. Do you have your ascendant, your moon, your ascendant ruler, any other planet at 25 degrees Aquarius? Then when Saturn starts stationing, you see almost beginning of June, Saturn will be at 25 degrees, and he remains at that degree sometimes 2 months, sometimes more than 2 months. And anything that comes under that influence, as Saturn is about to turn retrograde, that can be a very intense influence for you. And you have to watch for that. And you see, I find that telling yourself that this is a challenging time, I should have less expectation, less things to do, then it is a much better thing, because then we are mentally prepared for it. And then some things happen, then you react to it rather than you spoil or mess up situations for yourself. And then Saturn will keep on turning retrograde, we don't feel it. Then around November, when it's trying to go direct, it again slows down. It will stop at 18 degrees of Aquarius, and then it will move forward. And so maybe middle of October to middle of December, Saturn is almost at 18 degrees of Aquarius. Now, if you have planets there, again, your ascendant, Sun, Moon, ascendant ruler, Moon ruler, any other planet, that planet is going to get that very intense aspect, and you do need to be conscious of it, and also be prepared that there may be some delays, some difficulties coming, and preparation is important. And Saturn teaches us to face our karma resolutely, carefully, comfortably. He's himself very strong, so he's not going to be negative in this way, but he's determined, and he's determined that we must deal with our karma and experience it, and that is what is the good aspect. And the other degree to be watchful of is that Saturn Mars Conjunction is at 20 degrees of Aquarius, and actually they meet exactly on 10th of April, but as I was saying, that earlier part, there's an eclipse taking place. Eclipse is in Pisces, not in Aquarius, but there's the Mars-Saturn conjunction, and you know, when transits pile up, it's more difficult. And as usual, I will be making separate videos nearer the time. Just now it is more for you to get a global view of what Saturn is up to and what to expect. Now, as far as the transit of Saturn is concerned, and over the various planets in your chart. Now, first thing to remember is that when you're looking at your planets, you have to see, do you have any planet in Aquarius? So yes, if you have planets in Aquarius, then those planets are going to be impacted. Now, planets up to 9 degrees of Aquarius already dealt with their major issues in 2023. So if you have planets 0 to 9 degrees Aquarius, you have already done your pressure energy. Now 9 to 25 degrees will be overall major impact. Others, yes, some effect is there, because just like you have Saturn visiting your house, you know, so it will give some impact. But those planets that are between 9 and 25, those are impacted. Then you look at 3 things. You look at April and 20 degrees of Aquarius, because that is where Mars-Saturn conjunction is taking place. Then June, 25 degrees, 29th of June, where Saturn is going to retrograde. And 18 degrees, where Saturn is going to turn direct on 15th of November. Then overall you look at, you have to have some knowledge of Jyotish, and it's a good idea to study Jyotish. You can plan to study with me or anybody else during 2024, and then you know much more about this. But so then we want to see what are the planets. If Saturn is going over your Lagna, it is yourself. You should watch your health. There can sometimes be some unexpected karmic situation. Saturn will be aspecting your 10th house from Aquarius, from your ascendant, and therefore 10th house aspect always releases some karma to you. So if you're Aquarius Lagna, and of course you have to see the degree of the Lagna, the intense pressure of Saturn lasts for about 1 month, but we must be prepared for it. Otherwise he suddenly brings a block. Saturn has Stambhana Shakti. He can just block suddenly. You're rushing and then suddenly you hit a roadblock. So those are things you have to watch out for. If you have Moon in Aquarius, more about Moon in Aquarius and Sade Sati in the second section of this video. But definitely all Aquarius moons, you know, you are in Sade Sati, but Aquarius moons between 9 to 25 degrees means 2024 is your intense Sade Sati. So mind, emotions are very stressed out, so that is a thing to watch for. Then sun is identity crisis. You can feel an identity crisis with sun in Aquarius, and you know, ego can be crushed. You can you know, have to be more humble. With Saturn, another thing to do is be humble, do something good for people. That is another very important factor. Then, you know, if you have ascendant ruler, moon ruler, those you can see which ones are there, those are affected. Then let's just look at the other planets. Mars, Saturn going over your Mars. You have to see what houses these planets rule. Mars is Karaka for brothers, siblings. You can have a conflict if Saturn is going over, or some issue comes up that, you know, the idea of Saturn's transit is that you need to resolve them. And so that is an important factor. So when Saturn is crossing Mercury, then it can impact our intellect. So it's your birth Mercury that you're concerned about here. So at that time, your thinking can be dull, or you can feel that you're, you know, trying to get some solution and not coming. So maybe it's just a good idea to wait till Saturn has done its work and then move on. Jupiter is the guru, the advisor. Jupiter is also Karaka for children and for husband. So therefore, this transit can impact all those things. Jupiter, Karaka means significator, is significator for money as well, for 2nd and 11th house. So Saturn's transit over your natal Jupiter is you know, very important one. It can affect many areas of your life. And of course, Saturn being kind of karma and Jupiter being wisdom, Saturn is making you sometimes feel blocked about what thought process to do, where to do. Also, you have to see what houses Jupiter rules other than its significations. And we can feel, you know, something less at that time, because the beneficence of your birth Jupiter, natal Jupiter, is not there as much. Venus is significator for marriage, for relationship, wife in a man's chart. So I find that Saturn's transit over Venus can be quite challenging for your marriage or long-term relationships. And if you have Venus in Aquarius, and especially in after 9 degrees of Aquarius, then there may be some challenges that you have to deal with. I was talking to a client recently, and she had Venus in Aquarius, and therefore 2023 was quite challenging for her. But one of the ways it was challenging was that her husband was never around. So you see, when we look at a challenge, our thought process, we are thinking what was going to happen. Sometimes it may be just natural, something, your partnership, marriage is, you know, people are busy, you don't have time for each other. But the exact moment of Saturn's transit over your Venus is important for both sexes in a serious relationship. That means that it can impact it. And you obviously have to see what dasha and other transits are going through. But Saturn can bring up some challenges, because Saturn's transit of Venus is Karaka for marriage. And in a man's chart, it's a Karaka for wife. So therefore, a man gets affected doubly, because it's marriage and wife or partner. And so it is important to see this relationship. And then Saturn return means Saturn transiting over itself. So Saturn return means you're either 29 years of age or you're 58, 59. Now, each of the returns, nothing actually happens on that time, but you have to think about it as a rite of passage. That means that it's an important timeline in your life. At 28, 29, you're becoming mature, you have to take responsibility. The transit at 58, 59, really 59 years when Saturn comes, it's coming up to your 60th birthday. And this is a very important time. 60th birthday is Shashti Purti, that you have finished 60 birthday. So you do watch your health at this stage. You watch any issues that come up. You see, the thing about Saturn return is you don't necessarily feel anything the day Saturn is going. But it is, as I said, a rite of passage. It's a time, almost like this whole Saturn in Aquarius is a Saturn return time. But then there'll be an exact Saturn return for you. And then, of course, are you getting it once, twice, thrice, because Saturn is retrograding? So it's a very important time. 88, 89. At 88, 89, you'll get the third Saturn return. So, you have seen life by now. So you know what to do, and you're leading a simple life. Simplify your life at the third stage of this. You are in your golden years. And then Rahu Ketu, Saturn's transit over Rahu. This is never an easy transit because Rahu is a malefic, Saturn is a malefic, and we don't know what it throws up. So be prepared, be conscious about it. Similarly, Ketu, Saturn going over Ketu. Ketu is a past life planet. So some old karma can suddenly come out and we have to deal with it. And again, it's not the whole transit, but try to watch the exact degrees of transit. Generally, what I've noticed with Saturn is that because Saturn deals with karma and past life karma as well, that means we don't actually know what karma is mature, what are the issues that are coming back. So one of the greatest remedies for Saturn that we can consider is that react to the situations. Be prepared and, psych yourself up, or know that this is a, time that you have to face some issues. And when the issue comes, then you think, okay, how am I going to deal with it? What am I going to do? What am I going to resolve? Now, being in India just now, one of the great pleasures for me is very close to my home in Chandigarh is Lord Shiva, old Saturn temple as well. It's a Lord Shiva, Ma Kali temple, and there's a beautiful old shrine to Lord Saturn. And I've been going every Saturday as part of worshipping, lighting a lamp, offering offerings, and next week we are doing Bhandara, offering food there. So I'm posting some pictures as I'm talking about Saturn. You can see the pictures as well. The lights are wonderful. I just love going there. And I'll be going again and posting some pictures for you as well. And always with the Saturn, every year think I have to respect Lord Saturn. I have to be patient. I have to take my time over it. And then he is going to bless you a lot. And I always honor his energy, honor even the difficulties you face, because it's all part of life. So this is the end of part 1. Part 2, I'll be exploring Sade Sati, the difficult Saturn transits of 2024, and the nakshatras and Saturn, and Manasa nakshatra especially, and the Janma nakshatra, those of what nakshatras you're dealing with. That is part 2 of this talk, and video I'm making specially from India.